Welcome to Table Talk. I'm Rich.
And I'm Alex. And today's table talk is Dominion.
Dominion! How you doing, buddy?
Hey man, I'm good. I'm feeling it. This is what, week 6?
Yeah, I don't know. I've lost count. I don't even know what month it is.
You gotta. I know it feels like I feel like Chuck Nolan from Castaway. You know, it's just. I mean, heck, you got the beard going. I mean,
Yeah.
I did the opposite route. I got rid of mine.
Yeah, you did go the opposite route. What's with the clean shaven look?
Well, you know, I was undergoing Lent, which meant for me anyway, I gave up alcohol and caffeine for I guess 6 weeks, which it feels really long when like there's certain things you say no,
Yeah.
I'm just like no, I'm not gonna have it.
Right.
But didn't miss alcohol as much as I thought I would. I really missed coffee. That was difficult.
Yeah,
But
if I had to give up one of the two, I think I would give up alcohol. I don't think I would give up coffee. That would
it,
definitely be
it's hard. It really is hard.
Yeah.
But so I figured in celebration of the end of Lent, I figured, you know what, I'm gonna do the old, you know, the lamb getting shorn, you know, on spring day, and yeah,
Sure.
shorn. That's a fun word
Shorn.
to say. Shorn. Surely. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then it decided to get really chilly, so now we're dealing with, like, I feel like it's like Arctic temperatures. I know it's not, but it's like it's in the lower 60s or upper 50s, which I know is like Crimea River at this point in Virginia, but like what's it like up in Brooklyn right now?
It's pretty chill. Actually, it's bright and sunny. But there's still a chill hanging around. So, I'm just wearing like long sleeve. I went out in this today and I was fine. But I went out to get my beer. We should talk about our beer, but I went out to get my beer and just this, and I was a little nippy, but
Okay.
it helps because especially now that we have to wear like the masks,
Yeah.
like having like this cover over my face and the beard, I feel very warm. Like I don't know if it's like just like a mindset. It's just like having hot breath against my face all the time. But
I'm honestly trying. I think I'm gonna go during the wintertime, even if, though, the CDC has said that there could be another like second wave, which I'm thinking,
right,
yay.
yeah,
That honestly is very comfortable in that respect of keeping the face warm. Where like I think I have mine. Yeah, I have mine. So mine.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
I go in rainforest tree frog style because I figure,
Really cool.
yeah, if you're gonna go in one direction, you might as well do something that's actually fun. So
Yeah, right. I don't even have mine with me. It's out in the other room, but it's basic blue.
Okay.
My mom actually made it from hand.
My
So
mom made mine as
yeah,
well. There's something about mothers and masks, I guess, trying
yeah,
to keep their children safe.
well, she makes. I'll do a shout out to her on lindleyhill.com or on Lindley Hill, which is Facebook, her Facebook page. She makes purses and bags. So,
Oh, nice. So this kind of the synergy of it is like streamlined for that.
right, yeah, she already had. I think she just had to try and find the fabric for it. But once she found the fabric, and she does a lot of like personal stuff. Like she'll make like if you're like a Colts fan or 49ers fan or Washington baseball fan, like she'll make like your things.
That's great.
Specify.
That's great.
All right, so as you guys know, we like to pair beer with board games on the show.
Mm-hmm.
There's no specific pairing like we usually do. We usually try and find common themes and stuff like that. We're not doing that. This time, it's pretty much since we're in isolation and we are quarantined, we're going with what did we call it? Comfort beer?
Comfort beer. Yeah, the beer we
Comfort
would
beer.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, comfort beer with online games. Pretty simple. And that's pretty much what I think most people that are doing beer and board games are doing at this point.
So Rich, what did you go with?
So I'm going to give a shout out to. So local breweries are having a tough time because they kind of had to shut down, right? So Interboro, I'm going to give them a shout out. They're a longtime supporter of brewing boards, so I got 2 of their Doube Dry Hopped IPAs
Very nice.
from the local beer joint, which is thankfully still open. So I think I'm gonna open the Mad Fat Business Double Dry Hop. Mad Fat's one of their long running things. So
Nice.
Oh, there we go. What
That's
do
a
you
good
got?
sound right there.
Yeah.
I'm going what used to be a small beer company in the 1800s.
Nice.
So I'm going with the ever so classic Guinness. However,
Nice.
fun little fact: this is the only Guinness brewing place in the United States, and it's in Maryland. It's outside Baltimore, and it's a Guinness
Okay.
Blonde.
Okay.
And apparently, from what I understand, my parents are a big fan, and I'm sequestering in Virginia with my folks. But apparently, at least according to my what my dad tells me, because he's been to the brewing place here,
Mhm.
is that Guinness does not brew their classic, like the classic one that of. They don't brew it anywhere except in Dublin. So
Right.
they can only do like the Guinness Blonde and other ones like in other places. So
Variations.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Cool.
doing the Guinness Blonde.
Fantastic. Cheers.
So yeah. Cheers to your health, sir.
Yeah, to yours.
Yeah.
Welcome to Table Talk. Goodness.
Welcome to Table Talk.
So we said it, but we should clarify. We are in two different, not only two different rooms, obviously. That's the big change. But we are in two different states. So you're in Virginia.
I am in Virginia.
How'd you get there?
Well, it was kind of an odd combination of our company I work for on, gosh, I guess it was 6 weeks ago. The CEO on a Thursday, not even on a Friday, on a Thursday, he told everyone, all right, working from home starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I had never seen a place clear out faster. People were just like, yep, I'm out. And then I worked from home on that Friday in Brooklyn, and then I stayed with my brother for about 5 days in New Jersey because I was supposed to hang out with him anyway. And my wife was already down in Virginia because we're both from there. And she and I spoke on the phone, and we're kind of like, well, the numbers keep going up. She's already down there. It's not really worth going all the way back up, knowing probably what's going to happen.
Right.
So instead, I kind of took a gamble, and I took a bus down from New York City all the way down to Virginia, not DC. I kind of bypassed it and went to the Northern Virginia area. And
Okay.
I kind of sequestered myself for about 2 weeks, and then
Make sure you were okay.
make sure I was fine, and I was, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And then I've been down here ever since, and it's kind of, I mean, it's strange. I'm very grateful to have kind of done it ahead of time before things got bad. But at the same time, I feel very New Yorky in a sense where I'm like, I feel like I kind of feel like I betrayed my town, and I'm like, oh, like I want to be back there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
No, we don't feel betrayed. You're fine.
You're
Safe.
yeah. Well,
You're
thanks.
safe. You're good.
Yeah, you're safe. You're good. You're sticking it out in Brooklyn right now, right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, so
Our viewers know this. Our listeners know this. We moved from our old apartment to the new apartment, the old setting of Table Talk, to the new setting of Table Talk, which gave us an extra room. So that is what is allowing us right now to do this, because I am in one room and my wife is working diligently in another room. So yeah, we stuck it out. It's gotten very serious. I mean, it's a very serious situation. Everybody wears masks. Everybody wears gloves every time they go out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's been, you know what has actually been really interesting is 7 o'clock. People probably have already seen this on the news, but everybody's cheering at 7 o'clock.
Okay. Can you actually hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it. Lots of people banging pots and pans and stuff, and it's really cool. It's kind of like like when you lived like in a really small town and the church bells would go off, and you'd know exactly what time it is while you're just like going to the grocery store. You know when 7 o'clock rolls around.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Our windows don't open very easily, so we have yet to partake.
You just bang on the windows?
Yeah, sometimes we just been kind of like,
but yeah, our windows are like it's kind of a workout to like get them all open. So yeah, but yeah, it's been good. We've just been working, and I've been doing some writing, some.
Yeah, do you? Okay, so here's a question: Are you finding this to be smothering in how your creativity is working, or do you find that it's actually easier to kind of focus, I guess, amid all this?
It was a lot easier the first month. Because I think there was a lot of stuff that was built up that I was ready to kind of get out.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of hitting the point where like a lot of creative stuff happens while you're doing other things, right?
Yeah.
While you're doing work on something else, you're kind of thinking about this.
Yeah.
And like I haven't given my brain any time to do that, like it's all been analytical and very purposefully thinking. I'm not really letting my brain kind of like free flow type of thing, and it doesn't do that anymore naturally. That's the only problem. That's and creative people, I feel like, do that. Like they're creative, but they're creative while they're doing other things. So they're kind of seen as like spacey, and they're kind of seen as like
what? Huh?
Like they're kind of seen as like space cadets, and like they're not like paying attention.
And that's how I've been described as like some people. Like when I did renovation and stuff, like I'd be painting a house, and like all of a sudden like I'm on the other wall, and like with a different color.
That's funny.
Like, it's like, oh, like, yeah, sorry, I was thinking about something, and it's kind of like, so I don't really have like, it's interesting committing to that and then not really having that time to just kind of daydream.
Do you find the lack of, because I'm really curious about this when you're talking about spacing and stuff, do you find that the lack of movement, because we're all basically stuck in one place for like an indefinite amount of time? We have no idea when New York is going to reopen at this point,
right,
based on what Cuomo and the CDC are updating us on.
Yeah, it could still be months.
Yeah. Do you feel like the lack of physical space being a factor, or is it more just like, where do you get your creativity from in this instance? Is it just the time that you have now finally, or is it like, do you get creativity through movement? Is there a particular, I don't know, are there particular challenges you're finding with this?
The space I don't really have a problem with.
Okay.
I think that's, I don't know. I think the space issue is something I overcame a long time ago. Like I think I'm drawing a lot of inspiration just from like letting my brain go sometimes, and like just internet surfing sometimes. So a lot of like I'll do internet research a lot, or I'll read a book or do something, but like letting my mind kind of focus on something else is really what's it's healing me a little bit. Plus online gaming. Just like, so there's a group, so the Bruin Boards group is big, but there's about 4 or 5 of us that have been getting together online. We created a Discord so we can talk to each other while we play a game online and just hang out. So there's, I think, a combination of like 3 things that I'm doing every day that just feel routine, and I think the routine part is important.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think it's just, I think above all, it's just having time to devote to it and sitting down and doing it.
That's cool.
But that gets tiring. It's been getting tiring a lot faster.
Is it because, like, I'm curious, like, what is the routine? What are those 3 things for you?
So breakfast is not something I've ever really been doing the last 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So finally eating breakfast. I have a morning show that I watch on YouTube, and then I will dive into my writing.
Okay.
Once the writing kind of gets to a point where I feel like it's kind of slowing down, I need to think about it, I'll go for a run. So we got to run around here. I ran for the first time with my mask on, which was horrible. But go for a run real quick, get back. You can get a lot of thinking done in the shower after you run. And then or we start dinner. I've been cooking a lot of dinner, so we usually start around 6 o'clock. So then I usually have between 2 and 6 to get back to the writing, which I'll do. And then if I need a break, I'll work on Bruin Board stuff, or I'll work on something else. So it's just kind of having like tiered like projects, right?
Yeah.
Like having like the first tier is writing, and then after that, if I get bored from that, I'll work on Bruin Boards. If I get bored from that, I'll work on, trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about on Table Talk and, that kind of stuff. So Yeah, that's kind of how it's been working. Oh, and I've been writing a lot of music too. So if I get really bored, or if I just get really like cramped on what I'm doing, I'll just walk into the other room, grab a guitar, and I'll serenade my wife while she's trying to get work done.
on a Zoom call. That's
Yeah.
nice background music. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Well,
Cool.
What have you been doing? Like, you've been working on projects too? I've seen the reading the children's books.
Oh yeah.
Put me to sleep at least a couple nights.
There you go. Good. Well, my voice lulls people to sleep. No, so I am in a somewhat unique position, and it kind of gets like, I mean, honestly, it kind of feels uncomfortable, especially amid like all the frankly the difficulties that I'd say the majority of people our age are right now facing. It's like my job has not ended, so like I'm still doing a 9 to 6 job at this point juncture anyway. So that is first priority. What I have found encouraging amid all this is, one, I do what you were mentioning. I do a children's book reading every day if I can during the weekdays, which is just a simple sort of. It's a reading of a kind of a young children's book. So like one was Frog and Toad, another one was Adventure of Curious George, different stuff like that.
Yep.
I mean, and you probably feel this all the time, where there are certain levels of creative effort that has like a shelf life of a certain amount of time, and some, which I know you've been working on an idea literally for years, where you it's a long maturation process. And I think some of the frustration that I know a lot of creatives feel is that there's no payoff at all for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I think Nolan to some degree was working on and off with Inception for 10 or something like that. So it's nice to be able to have something that I can record real quick, edit within like 30 minutes, spit it out, and it's something to have, one, for myself for practice, but two, I know a lot of folks that I know who are our age are either having kids, have kids, or kids are getting older to the point where their attention span, like the kids are cognizant enough to grasp onto ideas and to hear stories, but they're also young to where their energy levels are so high and they're in a cramped space and there's nothing to do. And, eventually iPad, there's only so much you can watch. So it just gives them an avenue to have something to do, which has been fun. I like being able to do that.
Well, it's really cool too. I mean, they are kind of weird opposites, like our creative endeavors that we've taken up in this isolation setting. Like yours is very like quick and very like you can get it up, you can get it out, and it's like that's got to be a great feeling. Like, how often do you do it? Like once a week?
It's during the weekdays. So I usually, and this will be interesting today, I usually juggle recording it more or less around a break that I have, like during work time. Because it doesn't take that long. It's like 15, 20 minutes to record. And then I edit it real quick, and then I spit it out usually a little after work is finished for the day. I don't mess with the weekends because I'm like, I want a break. But usually it's every day. And then depending on the times in the mornings, there's a short film that I've been writing off and on. I'll wake up in the wee hours of the morning before work starts, or there's a couple things I've been editing. There's always something.
Yeah. Us creative people, we're always editing something. We're always working on something. But the
contrast between that and then for anybody who doesn't know, probably everybody, I'm writing a book. I have a big novel idea that I've been working on forever.
Heck yeah, man.
It's a fantasy series, but we're talking about 50 some chapters with about 4,000 words per chapter. It's a lengthy process, and like you said, it's gonna take, like, by the time the goal is trying to get it done by July, June-July timeframe. I'm on chapter 16 now, so like try to hit that deadline, and then from there try to get it to a publisher. From there, like the creative process is going to take years, like until you see any type of impact from it, hopefully, if any.
And you know what's interesting too is this is one of the first times I've ever seen our age group in particular having to grapple with the fact that we've been driven so much by like the aspect of FOMO, where people are doing things not specifically because they want to do them, but they feel left out unless they do them.
Yeah, they don't feel like a part of society.
Right, like travel, for instance, like the accessibility and the less expensiveness of travel within places like the States or Europe. Like it's easy, it's less money to travel to London from New York than to travel to, I don't know, Arkansas, like Little Rock or something, which is kind of nutty. But all that being said, it's interesting now seeing how we've had to figure out what to do with ourselves, because social media has always been driven by kind of and wanting each other, or like kind of outdoing one another.
Yeah, look what I'm
right. Like look what I'm doing. Where now it's like, it's the first time I've ever heard people be like, oh, I'm getting into puzzles now. And you're kind of great.
Yeah, right.
People are just hanging out and hopefully like getting to know each other rather than just trying to, I don't know. It's weird because like in this is just something I've seen, is like, it's nice to having to actually stop and consider, what am I doing in my life? How do I want my life to look like from, now 6 months, year, etc. Whereas in a country that's driven by speed of the next thing, they're right now, the next thing is tomorrow. And there's nowhere to go.
So for like, you're right. For the first time in our history, in our lives at least, like the foresight has really kind of diminished. Like nobody really knows what they're doing months in advance, so planning isn't happening. And like I mean, planning is happening, but it's like they're changing and information is changing all the time. So it is kind of interesting that we're like, you're right, we're taking it kind of day by day. It's kind of fun. And it, like, I think we've said this before, but for creative people who have all these creative kind of passions and sometimes anxieties, it's just a perfect time to really kind of indulge in those and not feel bad about not going out to a party or not going out to see people. So speaking of creative endeavors, so part of the show is we usually have behind us a work of art from a lovely lady called my wife, Andrea. So she has taken up another creative endeavor. I'm going to show it to everybody here.
What do we got?
This is an illustration, a whimsical illustration. I'm going to show it here.
You're going to need to point it towards me. I can't.
I will. I'll point it towards you.
Oh, okay. All right.
So this is whimsical illustrations by.
A little to your right. Yeah, a little down, slightly down. There, a little more to your right. A little more. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Oh, that's cool.
You like it?
Yeah.
So she's what she's doing is she's making these illustrations, and then she's turning them into like cards, like greeting cards.
Okay.
And she's digitizing them, and then she's printing them on Vistaprint. So I don't know what the pricing is yet. I don't know if she's decided that, but it's about $4, I think, for a card, and then you can, whatever.
Make it 50.
$50.
Why not? This is pandemic time. You gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be an episode of Table Talk without a little bit of Andy's art and everything.
That's good. I like that.
There you go. So here, let's go to Dominion because we got to get done here pretty quickly. So let's show everybody online. So we're pairing our comfort beer with online games. The online game that I have for everybody today is a game that I've been playing with the Bruin Boards crew online, and it's been fun. I have a couple. So Dominion is the name of the game. So you got different expansions. This is the Intrigue expansion, and we got the Prosperity expansion here. The online version has all the expansions. It's free. You can play with your friends and everything like that. So I'm going to try and show you guys here on my laptop how to get to it and how to play along. And if you want to play with Bruin Boards, I am Bruin Boards. BREW letter N boards on Dominion.com. So if you want to hang out with me, play a game with me, you can feel free to kick my butt on Dominion.
Hey, Rich. So what are we looking at right now? Is this the game? Is this Dominion?
Yeah. So this is the website Dominion.games. So if you just go here, they'll bring you to this webpage. After you sign in, you just got to create a username, just like any other website that ever existed.
All right.
If you have friends over here on your right, your friends will pop up if they're online. None of my friends are online because I don't have any friends. I'm joking.
I'm your friend, Rich.
They're just not.
I'm just not on Dominion.
You're just not online here. So what I've been doing, you can do a search. You can kind of rate the type of game you want to play and search for people online to play with. I've been playing against robots because that's just a faster game for me, and my internet's not that great. So, but here, so let me just kind of, I guess I don't really know where to start, but Dominion is a card game. It's a deck building game. So let me just jump into a game, and it's probably the easiest way to explain it. So Dominion started off with just a base set of cards, and you would play with those. And then ever since then, it's just been expanding to multiple different expansions with different types of cards and different type of strategies. So let me go to this view so you can see. So you always have a supply. So a supply is always 10 cards. That's these 10 cards right here in the middle of the screen. So there's lots of those cards. Picture them like stacked up. So there's stacks of these cards in front of you, and you can pull cards from supply to add to your hand, which is at the bottom left. So you can see my name's Bruin Boards. It gives you your victory points that you start off with, which everybody starts off with 3. And then you start off with money. You just start off with about 7 copper. So you have money over here that you can purchase to put into your hand. You have victory points that you can also purchase. So usually the name of the game is to try and get to the point where you can have 8 money to play so you can buy provinces.
Okay.
All right. And you get that money by kind of doing all these things, and all these cards have different things that they allow you to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the play area. This is my hand right here, and it's my turn. And it says I have 4 money. So I can play 4 money, see there? And I can purchase one of these cards from the supply that costs 4 or less. Do you see that?
So yeah.
So there's these cards all here on the bottom row. These bottom 5 all cost 2, 2, 4, 4, and 4. So I could spend 4 money to buy one of these cards. All right. There's also another action over here. So if you right click it, it'll zoom in on the card so you can see what it says.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So if you right click, it'll tell you exactly what the card looks like. Victory cards that are in your hand don't do anything for you. They're just dead cards. They just give you victory points. So this is one of my 3 victory points over here. So I'm going to play this 4 money that I have. I'm going to buy a poacher, which will give me an extra card when I play it, and an extra action, and it gives me 1 more money. And the only bad thing about it is once these supply piles get empty, I'll have to discard a card from my hand when I play it. But I'm going to buy this card. So you see that the number 10 went down to a number 9. So there's instead of 10 cards in that supply, there's now only 9. And then over here, I can see on the right, I can see what everybody else is buying.
Interesting.
So
you're playing against Lord Voldemort.
Yeah, I'm playing against Revenge Witch, Lord Raddington, and Lord Voldemort.
Sorry,
It
Voldemort.
looks like
They all bought chapels.
Interesting.
So yeah, and then that's pretty much how the game is played. I play another 3 money. I can buy a silver, so you can buy money over here. So usually with 3, I'll buy a silver, which gives me more money in my hand. And then what it's doing automatically that you're not seeing is over here, it's reshuffling all the cards. So I have 7 cards in my deck and 5 cards in my hand. So what's 7 plus 5?
12. Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So I have 12 cards total in my deck, and I'm constantly pulling cards from that deck and reshuffling them. So you're trying to kind of build this engine in your hand that will get you the most money the fastest so that you can buy the most provinces.
So is it a matter of like, is the purpose of the game for control or to get a certain number of victory points?
The game ends when one of these three decks. Well, there's a lot of different ways for the game to end. So if two cards from the supply are out, the game ends. Or if one of these victory points runs out, then the game ends.
Got it.
All right. So usually everybody's going after the provinces. So most games will end when the last province is taken because that's worth 6 points. I've seen a lot of games end with sometimes a lot of curses will be dealt. So there's certain cards that allow you to dish out curses, like the Witch. So if you play the Witch card, you get two more cards to add to your hand. Each other player gains a curse. So some games have ended because the curses have run out and there's a supply card that's out. Most games, however, will end when all the provinces are gone. That's typically how most games work.
Interesting.
So just to give you another
example, I'm going to play a poacher. So you play actions first. There's different types of cards. You have action cards, as you can see here. So you play actions first, and then you have treasures that you can play after that. Some action cards are attack cards, which will do different things to different players, like have them discard their cards down to like 3 or 2 or whatever, or it'll give them curses. The poacher is a pretty simple card. It's just going to give me an extra card that I'll add to my hand. So now instead of 7 in my deck, I've drew another one, so it's down to 6. I can play another action if I have one, but I don't. And it gives me 1 more money. So you can see it's already calculated my 1 money here. And then I'll play my treasure. So instead of those 2 coppers, just having that 2, I actually have another money from my poacher. So now I have 3. So that's pretty much how the game works. You just keep going around your turn. I'm going to buy another silver with that. Just having a lot of money seems to be a good way to kind of do well in this game. And what these other players are, these robots, basically what they're doing. Somebody bought a witch, so somebody's going to start ditching out curses here pretty quickly. Somebody else bought a silver. And now I have enough. I have 6 money now, so I can buy a gold. That's probably what I would do. But yeah, basically, you play the game just based off of what's in your hand. There's a lot of different ways to play it. I tend to play it in a way that whatever's going to get me the most money in my hand, I tend to pick action cards that give me a lot of cards in my hand. Like the Witch will give me 2 cards in my hand. There's a horse. This one has a horse thing that will give you 2 cards plus an action, so you can play multiple horses in a row if you have a lot of horses. And then there's also a trash pile. So there's cards that allow you to trash cards from your hand. And then if you trash them, they go into the trash pile, which is here. So you see the robots have already trashed 7 coppers and 2 estates. Or sorry, 7 coppers and 1 estate.
Wow, they're doing well for themselves, I suppose.
Yeah, so when you trash, you're basically thinning out your hand. You're thinning out the cards that you don't really want, right? So coppers aren't really going to get you that far, right? They're only worth 1. So if you can change out a copper for a silver, then you're getting more money in 1 card than you are with the other. So yeah, and then estates are usually useless cards at the beginning that are just blocking you from doing what you want. So yeah, I mean it's one of those games you do have to play a lot to kind of get the feel of, and you have to get familiar with all of the expansions to understand which cards you really want to kind of go after. It's probably one of those games that you can be annoyed playing with somebody who really knows what they're doing. But if you play online enough with like the robots, and if you play with your friends, I think it's a fun game. This website isn't really glitchy at all.
Nice.
There hasn't been any issues really with people like not doing their turn or getting kicked off or anything. A lot of online stuff. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. But a lot of online stuff has been. It tells you kind of how it ends. I lost apparently. Just because nobody really scored anything. But a lot of online stuff since the COVID-19 outbreak has kind of overloaded, so it's kind of hard to rely on it. But so far, I mean, this has been fun. This has been a go-to for our gaming group. So hopefully it's something that everybody else can do.
A couple questions about this.
Yeah.
What's the usual number of players that can play, or what's like the optimal number, you think?
We play with 4 a lot. So this setup right here has been the best experience I've had with it. We have played up to 6. I think somehow we got 7. I don't know. I honestly don't know how we did that. But yeah, if you have more than that, it's kind of it just takes a long time, especially if you have a lot of people online
trying to play the game.
Because a lot of people will do their turn. They think their turn's over, so they'll get up and get like a coffee or get up and get like a something to drink, and they won't realize that it's waiting on them
to do
the thing. So everybody's just kind of waiting on them to, or there's different things that happen on your turn that might discard their cards down to 2. So like you're waiting for them to respond to that. So I think 4 is the magic number. If you have 4 people that can commit to it, having 6 just increases all of that user error type of.
No, yeah, interesting.
So
what's and I mean, not that it really matters at this juncture in our lives, but what's the overall game time play for this?
It changes, but I think you can do a normal game within about 15 minutes. So that game that we were just playing, nobody had picked any victory cards yet, but you can get it done in about 10 to 15 minutes if you're playing online with the bots. Like that's gonna take no time really at all. If you're playing online, just due to people's connections and people just people have to read all the cards all the time. Give people time to like get familiar with the card set that you're playing with. I think just give yourself about 20 minutes to a half hour online, but you can get through a lot of games. I think in this definitely isn't one of those sit down, play it once and then you're done. You kind of want to play it a lot, and you want to play with a lot of different card types. So here's all the expansions. So here's the base set that you have. So this is the original game, right? And then you have, what we say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 expansions on here. So I play with all expansions, but you can kind of pick which ones you want to play with. When you're hosting a game with friends, you can kind of pick which ones you want to play with as well. But yeah, that's Dominion Online. And the card game in person has been a game that we've been playing a long time, but it is fun online as well. It's one of those games that transfers very easily to an online game.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, folks, you've seen it here. Yeah, it looks great. Dominion, and you can look it up. What's the website again called?
DominionGames.com.
DominionGames.com.
Yeah.
Or just Dominion.games. If you just look up Dominion online, if you just Google that, it'll take you to the place.
Cool. Not to be mistaken with Dominion Power, which is a electrical company that I'm sure many of you who are listening potentially have to pay bills their way. So very different.
Dominion Power? Where's that at?
I mean, I say we're a lot of people. I have no idea. I just knew that Dominion is a Virginian-based power station, so it may just be in Virginia, and I know nothing beyond that. But again, as probably you've discovered as my friend and people listening, is the older I get, the less I know. Well, Rich, thank you for showing me the game. That looks like fun. Yeah, it's interesting to find ways that we are all both trying to pass the time, but not just pass the time, but to keep ourselves, mentally with it. So
you know what's interesting though? Did it just get really dark for my screen? I feel like I just got really dark.
No.
Okay. Yeah. What's really interesting is how less reliable we seem to be on. I mean, we're relying on like screens, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how like everybody just kind of assumed like we're going to be okay because screens are here, right? But we're getting so tired of them so quickly.
Yeah.
Like we're reading more. Like we're spending a lot more time. At least we're spending a lot more time doing like creative projects. Like we're not like just watching Netflix all the time.
There's a ton of musicians now coming out with like performances that they record in their homes, and which I think is so much fun because it's like, eventually, my theory is that our economy is kind of being revealed for what it is, which is it's a consumption-based economy, right? Like, The one thing that keeps it going is people just buying things. And what's really interesting is seeing that, I think the one reason why we kept buying stuff is that our lives were so busy that was like Netflix or Amazon Prime, whatever, all great things to some extent. But like in some ways it was the distraction from the exhaustion of people working all the time and not having breaks, kind of thing.
Right.
Where now, it's funny you mentioned that, because I remember seeing a statistic chart where they kept track of website activity of Xbox Live and Barnes and Noble. And at the beginning of all this mess, Xbox Live did a weird like big jump, and then it leveled out and plateaued more or less. Whereas Barnes and Noble has been slowly and steadily increasing, which to me is like, I think you're right. Like there's only so much screen time that you can physically consume before you just get sick of it. I mean, it's tiring looking at only 12 inches in front of you for 10 hours a day.
Hey, okay. Do you have time for a quick little, just fun little segment?
Sure. I have, what time is it? Yeah, I got like 4 minutes. Can you do 4 minutes?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
All right,
so
cool.
I was just doing a quick kind of like brain thought of characters from literature that would do very well during the COVID-19 outbreak.
All right. Let's do that.
Top of the list. Actually, I don't know if I've ranked them, but the first one that came to mind is Frankenstein.
Oh, for sure. Wait, are we talking Victor Frankenstein or the monster?
Oh, sorry, Frankenstein's monster. I actually have it written down. Frankenstein's monster.
Okay.
Frankenstein's monster, living alone in the structure next to the hut. Or
yeah. I mean, he spends like 6 months and he freaks out because when he sees winter, he assumes everything is dying because he's never seen spring before. That was crazy.
But I think he would do very well.
Okay.
Not be affected.
I don't contest that at all.
You're going to see there's going to be a lot of common denominators with all of these. Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay. Quasimodo. I would agree.
Lives alone in a church steeple his whole life until he meets Esmeralda. Was that a book or was that, I'm assuming that was a book.
Admittedly, I've yet to read Hugo's book and I've always wanted to. So I'm just basing it largely on Disney. And
I'm basing it off of Disney as well. Yeah. I don't know if this is actually, again, I know this is a musical, but Phantom of the Opera. That guy would do very well. He wouldn't even know what's going on, right?
Yeah, he'd probably come out and be like, where is everybody?
Yeah. Why aren't people coming to the opera?
People aren't coming. I don't get it.
This one's interesting. Miss Havisham from Great Expectations by Charles Dickens.
Okay, excellent choice. Though I haven't read Great Expectations yet.
I'm just pretending like I have.
Okay. All right. Well, what makes her qualified?
She was heartbroken.
Okay.
So she, I'll just read what I have written. Stays inside her mansion. All the clocks stopped at 20 to 9. The minute she received the letter telling her she was jilted. Apparently her soon-to-be husband decided not to be a soon-to-be husband. Always wearing the wedding dress that she was never married in, the wedding cake left on the table.
Ooh. For how long?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think she sounds like someone who would be qualified to sequester.
Yeah. Yep. The next one I did read this book. Boo Radley.
Ooh. For sure. Yep.
He would do very well, I think. But the second that he goes to save Scout, save her life, then he's in that's not good. Like it's like she would be like, you know what, like you can't save me because we need to be socially distanced.
So yeah, how can you socially distance? How could he socially distantly save Scout? Like, is there a way that you could like
just run up to the assailant coughing? I guess I don't know.
or take the ham thing off of Scout and then just start whacking what was his name?
Just a protective weapon.
Right, exactly. And
it just creates social distancing while
6
also
feet ahead. All right, that's good. I like that.
Okay, last, my favorite personally would be The Grinch.
Ooh,
Dr. Seuss.
good
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
I have no qualms because frankly, he's not just social distancing; he is anti-social distancing, which I think lends is even like it's even has further quality to the situation.
It's like layered
Right.
on top. Although
Right.
he would probably, once he realized the situation, maybe he would actually just to be a Grinch, like be going around like not social distancing himself.
Yeah, he probably would be walking around like the Whoville and being like,
Yeah.
"Oh, everyone's gone. It's my turn to party." You know, kind of.
Yeah, right.
He'd be like
Mhm.
doing what the dolphins are doing, swimming in the Venice canals. You know, because no one's there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a whole crazy thing.
I thought that. Hold on. I thought that was fake news.
Nope, I don't
It
think
wasn't.
so. I don't think so.
All
The
right.
ones that I know of,
I'll believe it.
yeah. I've heard of the dolphins, and I know that like in Colorado, apparently some mountain goats around the Rockies will like just randomly show up on some of these mountain towns, like in the town square, because like nothing's happening, so they're just kind of, oh, hey,
What's going on over here?
what's up? What's going on, guys? Oh, this is nice.
I'm a goat.
And my friends in LA say that the air is the cleanest that they've ever, like it smells different in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm it's all very interesting. I will say, out of all these literary characters, you forgot one that I think should be an honorable mention because
What is it?
he is like the OG of sequestering people in literature.
Okay.
Robinson Crusoe.
There you go. Yeah. See,
But
I knew I missed one.
He was
I
kind
knew
of forcibly done. He actually forcibly did it though. It wasn't voluntary. So like,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking. So of all of these, though, the one that is the most interesting is Miss Havisham because she's not like disfigured or like complete social outcast. She like chooses to be alone because she's just heartbroken.
Yeah,
So.
some that personal trauma, I guess. Which
Yeah.
I guess is like, you know, it is interesting. It's interesting how social distancing right now is putting everyone on the same playing field, even if you're an extrovert or an introvert, where the introverts I sense are like doing just fine. Whereas me, sometimes it's a little, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't feel great. I want to go to a museum or I don't know, something random. I don't know why a museum is first thing that pops in my head.
Such a museum goer.
Oh yeah, not really. Honestly, not really. I'm
Children's
nothing against
museum.
them. Children's, yes, exactly. I'll start reading the children's books in the museum. I'll probably get kicked out.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Well, I hope that you continue to remain safe and sound and
You as well.
enjoying the Dominion game.
Yeah. Well.
But I
And
guess
I guess to everybody, you as well. You all stay safe.
Yeah.
You all stay well. And for all of you listeners out there who didn't get a chance to see Dominion on our on our computer, go out there, go to dominion.games and check it out for yourself. It's pretty good.
And in the meantime, we'll probably be doing a few more of this kind of sequestering series on during this podcast. So and et cetera. So feel free to like and subscribe us and continue just to for updates, because for us this is it's a nice outlet for communication with Rich and I, but also it's a good way to be able to kind of introduce you guys to new things along the way that we discover, because we're not going anywhere. So
right. Yeah. This is actually worked out a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, go Zoom.
I mean, I guess we got to get to the editing process before we make that. But yeah, usually this is the point where we pretend to have forgotten about the game and all that kind of stuff. But we can't do that now because we did talk about the game. So,
yeah, we did.
But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell. And,
ding.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Until next time, you got your beer?
All right. I do.
All right. Until next time.
Be happy.
Oh, be happy.
Be happy. Did I say hoppy or happy? I said happy. Sorry. Hoppy. All right. Sorry. Be happy.
Yeah. Brew hoppy. And game
on.
Click.
Cheers, my man. So, yeah, you're just over there, right? Let me just walk over there and I'll
Okay. Yeah. All right. Can you see me?
Am I gone?
Yeah, you're right there. You're still on the screen, Rich. Sorry. All right. Slinking away.